1,000 years or more, there was no way to be able to write anything down. As far as I can know, I might be wrong, but the first written things was when maybe in Egypt, and then the Moses, the first commandment, the 10 commandment, and from the education that Moses acquired in Egypt, then that's when they were able to write things down. So when we see the book of Genesis was not written from the time of creation. It wasn't even written at the time of the flood. Man has gone through the flood, gone through the story of Abraham, come to Egypt, and all that, and there was no way things could be written down. But were things not spoken? Oh yes, a lot of things were spoken. But was there anything written down? Nothing was written down. How would it be if we were able to see a book written by Adam? How would it sound if we were able to see a book written by Noah to describe his experience of the ark? Or even the great Abraham. If Abraham can see a book that was directly written by Abraham or Isaac or Jacob or even Joseph, no books, as far as I know, that you can see it were written by, but a lot of things had been spoken, a lot of things were being done, but there was no single way. A lot of words were spoken, but there was no book, nothing to write down until the art of writing that came. So we lost a lot of information. We lost a lot of technologies because there was no way to write things down. This is where Fireflies came in, where by God's grace, we had the art of printing, over the time writing, and the technologies of writing have been going on now from the time of Moses, and then even God now beginning to instruct people, write it down, write down. I told Daniel, write down what you hear, I talk, write it down, because writing without writing something down is, it's not a very useful thing, if it can only depend on the spoken word. So for the first time, an app was created that automatically takes word and transcribe it into words. So, there have been a lot of writing, shorthand, and things like that, but it's been very, very troublesome for you to cope up while speaking and you are writing, or while hearing and you are writing it, not even in a class. It's been I had a lot of hard time listening to lectures and writing the note, and sometimes it's inaccurate. And personally, I found that I was missing a lot, because when you are trying to write, the professor will be speaking and you cannot. You have to go now and maybe look at for some of your colleagues. What did he say? What try to. All that thing was a whole lot of problem. Information were missed. So when Fireflies was created, to be able to automatically listen and record and transcribe and produce executive summary, produce sound bites automatically by an AI, it was record breaking. And this was very, very useful during the COVID, because this happened before the COVID. When Fireflies started about 2014, so by the time it got to the COVID-19, from 2017, 2018, Firefly was already joining Zoom meeting. With that, many people did not even know about the Zoom, but Firefly was joining Zoom meeting already. And nobody knew that COVID was coming. So eventually when COVID came, it was very, very handy to be used as a technology because there were a lot of meetings that happened during the time of COVID. Every nation was holding meetings, trying to figure out how to handle the COVID and how to handle different jobs, how to handle schools, how to handle the churches, especially when it came to the point where everybody had to work remotely. You cannot go to, or learn remotely or do anything you want to do. You have to do remotely during the time of COVID. The only useful tool at that point that was able to record this meeting was Fireflies, and through Zoom, and that's when Zoom started expanding. Before COVID, Zoom had about 10 million users, but 3 months after COVID, The 10 million users grew to 250 million users, in 3 months. It took Zoom 10 years to have 10 million users, but it took 3 months to increase from 10 million to 250 million. And needless to say, Firefly that was already inside of Zoom to record meetings now begin to accelerate and along with the things that were going on with Zoom. So this is the general background about the product, but let's see it today. What is Firefly doing today? Even after becoming a unicorn, this product today has built many other components into it. First, we have integration with over 100 different softwares. Because when we come to any organization, any company, the chances are that you are already using one form of product or the other, either in storage or your accounting or your business packages, you're already using things. So when Firefly comes into that environment, it wants to integrate with the solution, with the software you're already using. And we are doing that for over 100 softwares at the moment. Then the second thing is the app. So it's not just ability to record, transcribe, and summarize a meeting, but there are over 250 apps that Firefly has developed. Each of these apps addresses a unique need in many different areas. Could be you are an accountant, could be you are a lawyer, could be you are educationist, a professor, or could it be you are a student. It could be, any of the professional areas. We have developed 250 apps that you can find Fireflies useful. So all you need is just to go in and turn in the app, because it is an option that, depending on your area of specialization or your career, you go and turn on the app. And then there's also ability to you develop your own proprietary app. Should the one Firefly has already developed for you is not addressing your need, you can. We have the tool that you can easily do, even when you don't need to learn programming. Just go and check, and it become an agent, an agent that you can just build without code, and then you begin to use it in your different profession. After that, other things that Fireflies has done, we have what we call Soundbite. Soundbite is AI automatically, after listening to the meeting, it creates an audio and video file, a small file out of the meeting that you can know where to concentrate. For instance, Martin Luther King Jr. Speech was a long speech, but the AI can create a small script. I have a dream. Create a small script so that you know where to concentrate. So in a lecture or any business discussion, a small file will be created. It could be about 3 or 4 of them, so that you have, it might be a lecture that lasts about 1 hour, and you just need to know within 5 minutes what really happened. You can go to the soundbite and So something that took place for 2 hours or 1 hour, you can be able to go through it within 5 minutes and understand what really happened within that lecture. Then we have another Speak to Fireflies. That's the one Professor Mafion was addressing, which literally the AI now comes into the meeting and not just summarizing, but it is actually able. Speak to Fireflies is able to interact and participate in this meeting. You can actually ask Speak to Fireflies, what idea do you have about what we are discussing, or what have we forgotten to mention, or where can we find more information about what we are talking about? And Speak to Fireflies will be able to lead, because it is done. Speak to Fireflies was launched in 2025 in partnership with Perplexity. So it has access to everything out there in the internet. So if you have any question that you would have, so okay, let me go and Google out, let me go and find this information. You don't need to do that. Just ask the question, and he will be able to participate and tell you what is going on or what information you need to know. And then we have another interface called AskFred. AskFred is very, very helpful for post-meeting activities. Because after you had a meeting or have a conference as we have now, what do we do next? After the meeting, you go back into your meetings, and then you are able to use AskFred and ask any question you need to know. Okay, maybe if we're talking about a business plan, if we were talking about that, or we are talking about creating a blog, or we're talking about anything that we were discussing in that meeting, you can go and AskFred will automatically execute on that job for you. So you don't need to go and start doing things. Then other product that we have also created is what called Sales Assist. Sales Assist, it helps you to be able to have intelligence from a discussion. If you are discussing with someone, automatically you are able to get a prompt on what questions you need to ask that person. Or the person asks you a question, how to answer it. And then you get that prompt automatically from Sales Assist. And in fact, and that one you can actually, if you go into a meeting, you can inform him about the URL or the website of that meeting or any document that related to that discussion. You can upload it to Fireflies, and it was able to study, understand that document, be available as your partner to advise you on how to interact with the other counterparties. Another very helpful product is what we call voice agents, Firefly voice agents. That is most recent one, Firefly voice agent. What Firefly voice agent does is make this agent available, and you can customize it on languages or gender or whatever kind of thing. Like maybe like we're talking about German, so maybe you want to do business in German and you don't understand German. So you can set up a Firefly voice agent, giving it a German language, a German accent, a German personality, and it can go there and actually engage with clients in Germany for you. It will appear there and become very, very interactive. Ask question and then receive answer, and it's very, very friendly. It will take on the German culture and interact with that, with that clients, and at the end of it, bring the result for you, which can be used for sales. It will be used for interviews or whatever things you need to do. So that product is available today. That is already being used by many, many different people. Maybe you have 1,000 people to interview, or a student like a professor. You have so many students you need to talk to. For you to sit down and call each student and talk to them, it's very, very difficult. So you can send the voice agent, Firefly voice agent, to go and interact with those students and bring you back the feedback in a very short time, and then you are able to know what's going on. So yes.
Can I ask about
Yeah, sure.
all these wonderful applications of the AI that we've got at the moment, both in the original purpose of collecting the information that you are speaking and make sure you're not forgetting the right points, to assisting you at key moments. And I'm wondering, if we look at the future, what's it going to involve? Right now, we ask the AI and it does something. Can the AI actually be a participant in a conversation? For example, if I'm having a meeting with someone and we don't really know what we're doing in the area, maybe at some point in the conversation, the AI has got this idea we're missing something. It can actually inject it, but it's got to be useful. It shouldn't always inject things, because then it's got to inject things only at the moments where we're missing something important. And is that possible? Are we going to see that?
Yes, it's already possible at the moment. It's able to participate. Something you forget, question you forget to ask, or ideas that you you did not just remember. Yes, the AI is able to assist you right away on live during the meeting. See, what I needed to say, apart from joining meetings, which was through Zoom, through Google Meet, or Microsoft Teams, now we have Firefly Desktop. So you don't have to use a conferencing tool to use Fireflies, because the app is also available on phone. It's there on Android, and it's also available on iPhone. So you can use it, and also there's a desktop version that is locally installed on your computer that you can use without even joining a meeting. You don't have to join a conference meeting. So, and all that has those tools available that interact on real time, give you real time suggestions, real time ideas, or even fact checked, if that's your interest, on whatever you are hearing, what you are interacting, maybe with a customer, which is very good for people for sales. You're trying to sell somebody to someone, and the person is, no, that's not a good product, or trying to argue with you. The AI will be listening to that conversation and is able to tell you what you need to say to be able to persuade to win the sales. So that is already available live at the moment. So it is just beyond recording and transcription. So we've gone into very, very, very useful thing that allow us to really be able to function far much better than without having the AI. In fact, like Professor Imashon said, if you are doing these things now, anything now, and you are not, don't have an AI assistant by your side, it's just like maybe riding a bike while other people are flying on a private jet. Yes. So it is a mandatory, even as a professor, you need to use this with a student, because okay, imagine a professor that doesn't use AI extensively, and the students are using it. Oh, it's not gonna be.
It's literally a table turn.
Yeah, the table turn.
At the beginning, there was a knowledge base, and that knowledge base was a function of time. So the more you read or studied that knowledge, the more you knew. And so a professor like 60 years old will know naturally more than a young professor that's 30 years old, except the other one read something different.